Yo, hold on, because what I'm about to tell you is going to make everything make sense. After weeks of complete silence, after staying unbothered while the entire internet went crazy with theories, after letting Stefon have his private meltdown while she handled her business on tour, right now, this is about way more than just the Super Bowl. This is about patterns, self-respect, and knowing when enough is enough. So stick around because what Cardi revealed is going to change how you see this entire situation. Alright, so let's set this up because you need to understand what's been happening. For weeks, Cardi has been the definition of unbothered. While Stefon was allegedly blowing up her phone, going through mutual friends, trying to crash her tour stops, reportedly talking trash about her behind closed doors, Cardi said absolutely nothing publicly. She unfollowed him after the Super Bowl, posted "done" and kept it moving. She launched her Little Miss Drama tour, performed for sold-out crowds, posted about self-love and protecting her peace, and acted like Stefon Diggs was a distant memory. But now she's ready to speak, and she's doing it on her own terms, in her own time, when she's good and ready. Not because Stefon is begging for answers, not because the internet is demanding explanation, but because she decided it was time to tell her truth and close this chapter once and for all. So here's what Cardi has been saying, and this is where it gets real. According to multiple sources close to her, Cardi has opened up about why she left, and the core reason is something a lot of people can relate to. She refused to repeat the Offset cycle. Think about it. 7 years in a toxic marriage, cheating, public humiliation, endless breakups and makeups. She finally escaped that in 2024. Took 6 months to heal, then Stefon shows up promising to heal her, promising to be different, promising peace and respect. But here's what Cardi is now revealing. The red flags were there from the start. She just ignored them because she desperately wanted to believe this time would be different. She wanted her happy ending so badly that she overlooked what was right in front of her face. And that's the part that's so honest, so raw, because how many of us have done the exact same thing? According to sources, Cardi told friends she knew about Stefon's complicated baby mama situation from day one. She knew he had multiple kids with multiple women. She knew the timelines were messy, but what she didn't know, what wasn't fully disclosed, was how overlapping and active these situations still were. Because dating someone with a complicated past is one thing. Finding out the past isn't actually past, that it's happening in real time while you're trying to build a future, that's completely different. And this is where Cardi's explanation gets powerful. She's reportedly been saying that the Super Bowl wasn't why she left. The Super Bowl was just a moment when everything she'd been ignoring came crashing down in the most public, humiliating way possible. It wasn't the first problem, it was the last straw. Now, here's what Cardi specifically addressed that has everyone talking. According to sources, she said she left because she realized she was worth more than being someone's option, worth more than sharing space with multiple other women, worth more than being disrespected on the world's biggest stage, and most importantly, worth more than staying in something just because she'd already invested time, energy, and had a baby with someone. Cardi allegedly told people the hardest part wasn't the breakup itself, it was admitting she'd made another mistake, that she'd rushed in before she was fully healed, that she'd ignored red flags because she was lonely or hopeful or wanted to prove she could find love after Offset. But once she admitted that to herself, the decision to leave became easy, because staying meant compromising her self-respect, and that was a price she wasn't willing to pay. Let's talk about the Super Bowl specifically, because this is what Cardi has directly addressed. According to what she's been saying, the baby mama drama wasn't a surprise. She knew Kiki would be there with their son. What she didn't expect was how blatant and disrespectful it would all feel. Multiple women connected to Stefon, all in the same space, all posting on social media, all making their presence known during what was supposed to be their moment together. But even more than that, what really broke her was realizing Stefon either didn't see the problem or didn't care enough to prevent it. That's when she knew. That's when it clicked that this man didn't value her the way she deserved, that he was comfortable with her being uncomfortable, that he expected her to just deal with whatever he put her through because that's what women in his life had always done. And Cardi said enough. She left the stadium, went back to her hotel, and made the decision right then that she was done. Not because of one incident, not because she was dramatic like Stefon claimed, but because that moment showed her the truth she'd been avoiding. And once you see it that clearly, you can't unsee it. Sources say Cardi also addressed the hotel room cheating allegations. And her response is simple but powerful. It doesn't even matter if that specific thing happened or not. The disrespect was already there. The trust violation was already there. The pattern was already there. One more incident doesn't change the fundamental reality that this was unhealthy and she needed out. That's what's so powerful about how Cardi is framing this. She's not getting caught up in he said, she said. She's not trying to prove specific allegations. She's simply saying, I saw who you were, I decided I deserved better, and I left. That's it. That's the whole story. And she doesn't owe anyone more explanation than that. Now, the timing of Cardi speaking out is interesting. According to people close to her, she waited until she was in a place of strength, not hurt. She didn't want to respond while still processing. She didn't want to speak from anger or pain. She wanted clarity first. She wanted to heal enough that talking about it wouldn't give Stefon power over her emotions. And that healing has happened. Cardi is reportedly telling people that leaving Stefon was the best decision she's made in a long time. That she feels lighter, freer, more at peace than she has in months. That her tour, her music, and her kids have reminded her who she is outside of a relationship. And she's not interested in going backwards, not interested in second chances, not interested in hearing Stefon out. She's done, fully done. And the confidence with which she's saying that is what's really driving Stefon crazy, because he expected devastation. He expected her to come crawling back. He expected her to fold, but instead, she's thriving. And that's the ultimate rejection. Cardi has also addressed criticism about why she got with Stefon given his track record. And her response is honest and vulnerable. She takes full responsibility for ignoring red flags. She knows she moved too fast. She was still healing from Offset and probably shouldn't have gotten serious so quickly. But she also says beating herself up doesn't change anything. All she can do is learn and do better going forward. That accountability, that willingness to admit mistakes while still maintaining Stefon's behavior was wrong, that's maturity. She's not making excuses, but she's also not letting anyone put all the blame on her when Stefon chose to have multiple overlapping situations, chose to bring all those women to the Super Bowl, allegedly chose to cheat. What Cardi is saying, according to reports, is that two things can be true. She can acknowledge her mistake getting involved with him, and Stefon can be held accountable for how he treated her. Those aren't mutually exclusive, and she's not letting anyone use her mistakes as an excuse for his behavior. Here's what's really resonating online. Cardi has reportedly been saying the biggest lesson is about patterns and cycles. That leaving Offset wasn't enough if she was just going to choose another man with the same issues. That real growth means understanding why you were attracted to toxicity in the first place so you don't repeat it. And she's allegedly said she's done dating for a while. That she needs to really be by herself, really heal, really figure out what she wants before letting another man into her life. Because clearly, 6 months wasn't enough. She needs more time, and that's okay. She'd rather be single and peaceful than in a relationship and constantly stressed. Cardi has also reportedly said something that's incredibly powerful. She's grateful this happened now rather than years down the line. That catching this pattern early, seeing who Stefon really was before she wasted more time, before their son got older, before she got even deeper, that's actually a blessing. It hurts now, but it saved her from hurting worse later. And she's telling other women who might be going through similar situations, trust your gut. If something feels off, it probably is. Don't ignore red flags hoping they'll go away. Don't stay because you've already invested time. Don't compromise your peace for anyone, because the temporary discomfort of leaving is nothing compared to the long-term damage of staying somewhere you're not valued. That message is hitting different because it's coming from someone who's been through it, who left one toxic situation, briefly fell into another, but had the strength to course correct quickly, who's choosing herself even when it's hard, even when there's a baby involved, even when the whole world is watching. So at the end of the day, Cardi B's reason for dumping Stefon Diggs is this: she chose herself. She chose peace over his presence. She chose self-respect over making something work that was broken. She chose to learn from her past instead of repeating it. She chose to walk away with her head high rather than stay and compromise who she is. And honestly, that's the most powerful choice she could have made. That's why people are respecting her. That's why her tour is selling out.